happened in Grand Prairie, Texas, as we bring you the history of our city and some of the people that have made history, and really they're continuing to make history this very day. We have the most wonderful group represented here today by Angela Gessner, the founding president of a very, very important group and a past president. And we're into the Lifeline Shelter for homeless boys and girls in the Grand Prairie ISD. And Angela, welcome to the show, my dear.
Thank you so much for having us.
Madam Founding President, that sounds real exciting. And Miss Georgia Clemson, we're just so pleased to have you with us today. When you have the Gessners and the Clemsons together, put those two names together and y'all are so busy.
And watch out.
Yeah, watch out, things are happening. Miss Georgia, with your permission, let's talk with Angela first.
Oh, please do.
Oh, yes. Miss Angela, what's happening?
Well,
And what has happened?
Oh, my goodness. A lot has happened since 2003.
2003.
That's when we were formed. Most of the citizens of Grand Prairie were not even aware that we had a situation with homeless school children and their families.
Yes.
And I found out from an Education Foundation board member, Peggy Osborne, and Kitty Oldie agreed to set up a meeting with Christine Gonzalez and some of the directors of the other agencies in Grand Prairie.
Uh-huh.
And we decided to go from there and form Lifeline Shelter for Families Incorporated. We got our nonprofit status, we got our bylaws, we got our procedures, everything that we needed to do, our tax ID number, and had our first family put up by December of 2003.
That was the quickest in the
It
world,
was.
wasn't it?
We had our first meeting just to scope things out in August of 2003.
Uh-huh.
Started meeting 2 weeks later and forming our board. And every 2 weeks we would meet. Of course, our first concerns were money. How are we going to fund it? Housing. What kind of housing are we going to get? Bricks and mortar. You know, what kind of budget do you need to set for that? And it was nice. The directors of the agencies agreed to stay on our board to give us counsel and guidance. And we talked to Mission Arlington. We talked to Family Gateway and others that were already in their towns and active, and to see what budgets they had, what they operated, how they raised their funds, mm-hmm. and so forth. And thanks to our first donation was from the Grand Prairie Metro Rotary Club.
How wonderful.
And that gave us our first money to house our first mother with 3 little kids.
Yes.
And we decided, I asked Seroptimus to be our sponsoring organization to give us some credibility, because we knew we had an education process to let the city and community know that we did have this problem and it did exist. And Christine Gonzalez with the school district had been with the Connections program for about 3 years and had been trying to get the word out to the community, and just needed to get the right group together
yes.
to do that.
Get somebody with the clout.
Well,
yes, you did.
We did. Our board is just awesome. God just put the right people in the right place at the right time, and we worked together as a team. And I don't think we would have been as successful had we not had such a great board.
Yes.
But I also ran into somebody at a Seroptimus meeting and gave us the idea. They were doing something similar for women, but they would only house them a month in a hotel. But it also gave us the idea, hey, we don't have to have a bricks and mortar building. What if we look for apartment specials? Or if they're about to be evicted, if we can stop the eviction, it's less costly because we don't have to put down payments and any of the other expenses you have when you're trying to get somebody set up for the
And you can keep the kids in school.
Keep the kids in school. They still have their privacy. Nobody has to know. They're not singled out. And it's less embarrassing to the kiddos to know. And it's awful stressful for them. They know when things are not right in the household and there's a lot of pressure and they can't function at school. It's really traumatic for them.
Yeah. And that brings you to the point of, let's get going.
Exactly.
Where did you meet?
Well, we met at my office. Gessner Insurance Agency, and by the time we got our first donation was December, and we put our first family up. Okay, well, what's next? What can we do next? Well, Olin Massey had been talking to Joe Campbell. He wanted to put something together similar to the Gaither group, because we had so much local talent, and he wanted it to benefit an agency in Grand Prairie and do some good. And Joe talked him into considering Lifeline, even though we were brand new. He was a little apprehensive at first, but then it worked out very well for Lifeline. It's been a very, very successful vehicle for us to have a fundraiser.
Yes.
And we now, I'm going to let Georgia expound a little bit on the fundraisers that we have, and because we've got some that are coming up.
Yeah.
But from that, then the next thing we did the next year in 2004, we had our Freedom Luncheon. And we had it at a local cafe that's no longer here, and then we moved it the next year to Texas Roadhouse, and after that, and George and I sweating a lot of whether we could pack them all in. We had to unfortunately move from there to the Ruthie Jackson Center so we'd have more room to accommodate everybody.
Yes.
We hired our first employee August of 2004. That was Kathy Severance. She has been on the board since day one, and found out she had a master's in social work, so she was ideal to work as a director and case manager for Lifeline.
And her little son's a policeman too, besides all of that good stuff.
She has such a sweet countenance about her. The clients really love her. She's so kind and tender with them, and we hired her part-time and she worked full-time.
Yeah.
So finally, we were able to do full-time, and now we have an assistant for her. And because she's got her degree, she can manage interns. So a lot of times we will get interns from UTA Arlington, which is great for her.
Oh, great. Wonderful.
Really great.
That is just super.
So we just developed the board from there, and it's just really taken off.
From 2004 until 2012, y'all have been a happy camper, haven't you?
We have, and it just brings joy to our hearts to hear the stories that the people come back and tell us about how what a difference we've made in their lives. And one of our newest board members is Dr. Susan Simpson Hull, and she also comes back and conveys to us how much difference we have made with the students in school.
Oh, that's wonderful.
With their grades and keeping them in school, and that's our purpose, to help them.
Miss Georgia?
Yes,
I'd
ma'am.
like you to tell me how you got acquainted with this cotton picking program.
Well, actually, I believe you told me that Angela was working on this project about the homeless children in our district, and that really touched me. I was a product of the Grand Prairie schools, and I just tried to put myself in that position, or if my children, they were also Grand Prairie graduates, and I just thought that would be a really tough situation to be in. And we like to practice the golden rule and treat people the way that we would like to be treated. And I thought that was a wonderful opportunity. So I just told Angela I was interested in that mission.
Yes.
And the good Lord cleared my schedule and made it possible that I could donate that time and effort towards something that I thought could really make a difference in the life of children, and also in our city and within our school district.
How did you get on their board?
Well, I don't know if I asked or if I was asked.
You were asked.
I was asked very nicely. And
It isn't easy to get on your board.
No, actually, I'm sure they reviewed all the possibilities, and then I was asked. So I was excited about that, and I was hoping that in some way I could generate some funds. We had the need. We had the board in place, and we had Kathy in place. Now we needed money. We needed dollars to pay for the rent for these people. And so that's really kind of been my focus as far as after being president. During presidency, we were what you would call an emerging agency, and we had the needs that for organization and structure, and some changes that were some of them difficult to make within our structure, but that have proved to be very beneficial to our agency. And so then my focus has been mainly on the fundraisers, getting money, getting our name out, and letting the community know the need, letting the community know that their funds are being given to stewards that really want to make it, stretch the dollars and make the most of the money that is donated.
How did you get to become the second president of this organization?
I think I was available.
You're
I
the
think
only one
sometime if you're available, the good Lord just makes it happen.
Yes. Mhm.
So that was part of it.
And how was your tenure as president 1 year?
Oh, well, it was for 2 years, and I loved it because Kathy had applied for a grant with the Dallas Women's Foundation. And Angela and Kathy and I got to go attend a wonderful developmental program for emerging agencies.
Yes.
And I learned so much through that about the nonprofits and how the board is to be handled, just various things. And so I loved that, and I love working with the board. Angela mentioned that we have a wonderful board that has a heart for children.
Yes.
They're not board members in name only.
Uh-huh.
We have put blood, sweat, tears, dollars, whatever it takes to make it happen. And I love working with people like that.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. Give me an evaluation of what she brought to the board.
Oh my goodness, she stepped in at the time that we needed her the most. We got a grant during her tenure where we could do our strategic plan. And the first years, you're in an educational process yourself. This is not your profession, and you've really not known anything about it, so you're trying to educate yourself and see what you need to do and learn from the other directors. Well, this came in at a perfect time, and we did so many things those 2 years. We really grew a lot and stretched ourselves and learned a lot, and it was a great blessing. She set the bar higher for those that follow.
What kind of an invitation did you give to these people that are so important to you and are your board members?
I think we basically would try to discuss who we felt like we knew were workers in the community who could help us network, and not just somebody that wants to be on the board to have their name say that they're a board member of Lifeline Shelter. They have to really be sacrificing and be self-serving, and then not be a self-interest. It has to be for the kids. They have to have a kind, caring heart, and we tried to diversify the board as well. And we meet, and we would bring that to the attention of the board, and then with board approval, then we would approach them. A lot of times, now we let the people be volunteers, and we have them work, and that gives us a chance to see
who would be a good board member?
Right, and where their heart is and what they're able to do. And then it's kind of like we just kind of have a mental pool. We don't have anything in writing or anything about, gee, someday if we have an opening, we feel like they'd really make a good board member. And they already know about Lifeline because they've volunteered at our events and they've heard the story of Lifeline, and so they're a little educated before we approach them about membership, and we have them come visit at a meeting and make our decision from there.
I know where you meet now, on College Street, in a wonderful place. Where did you start out meeting, and how'd you get there?
Well, we started out meeting at my office. And then we started, when the board grew, we moved over to the Seroptimus house. And actually, we were going to change our meeting place to where our office location is on College Street. But the board seems to be so comfortable at the Seroptimus house that I can't get them moved over. And that's fine. Seroptimus doesn't mind. They're our sponsoring organization, so it's not a problem. But we meet at the Seroptimus house, 121 Southwest Dallas Street.
Well, that was a fun thing. More than a fun thing, you had to work to have fun.
We did. We did.
And what amazes me is I hear on the grapevine that you all as a board do not know anything about these people that are in need, but you have one certain person that is your employee, and they're the only ones that know these things, and you don't advertise that. unless we come to a meeting and you all have your annual meeting at the RJC or wherever, and then you have one of these people that will come and tell what a blessing you all have been and testify in your favor. How did that happen?
Well, a lot of times they will correspond with us after their tenure's over, because they want to share how much and what a difference Lifeline made in their lives and their children's lives. And we keep those, and we will contact them and tell them that we'd like to do, and we'd like them to share what they shared with us. Sometimes we will have them that are still on the program. They may be brand new, but yet they voiced their appreciation, and we'll go to them and tell them what we'd like to do and get them to sign that we have their permission for them to speak on behalf of Lifeline, to let everybody know where their dollars are going and what good we're doing in the community.
You're very careful how you assign your money to people. How long can you expect to keep a family like that, just one family? Do you have a timeline, or do you just let them stay forever, or what?
No, we usually try to judge it 1 to 3 months, and Kathy Severance evaluates the situation, and if they're a longer term need than what we're equipped to do, then she'll make a referral on. And one of the things we started with in the beginning is we said we did not want to reinvent the wheel. If there's an agency or a program already out there in the Dallas County area, we tap into it and make use of that. And a lot of people are confused. They want to know where our shelter is. Well, we don't have a brick and mortar building, because we put our families up in apartments or keep them in apartments. And we have our office now, which is great for visibility. But that means that we don't have all the expense and overhead that you have when you have a bricks and mortar building. So the vast majority of our money is going to assist the families, and that's what we like. And that's what I like as a donor. What's my money going to do, and is it really going to get to the families to do any good?
Miss Georgia?
Yes, ma'am.
Angela spoke a few minutes ago about you were going to talk about certain things to raise funds and some of your activities. What's happening to your part on that?
All righty. Well, she did speak about the gospel concert, which started many years ago. As she said, Olin got us started with that. And now Larry Brundage has adopted that, and Calvary Baptist Church has presented that. This will be the 5th year that they will do the Lifeline Gospel Concert at Calvary Baptist Church, and that is scheduled for March the 9th, which is Friday.
Of this year?
Of this year, yes.
That's
just right around the corner.
Yes, it is.
At 7 p.m.
Yes.
And it's a wonderful opportunity to come and hear a variety of gospel music, and it's very inspiring. And we also give the audience an opportunity to make a love offering. So there are no tickets sold. The admission is free, and then if they'd like to make a donation to Lifeline, they have that opportunity. And last year we raised a little over $10,000, which is amazing.
At that one time?
At the one concert. And of course in the past we had raised funds, and we want to thank Larry and Calvary Baptist Church for all the hours that they put into this event and providing the facility and helping us promote this. They have been wonderful. So we are thankful for that. And we have other organizations that sponsor events, but this is one of our major ones. And Angela also referred to our Freedom Luncheon, which is our biggest event, and it's very exciting. It's in June, and this year it will be June I believe I have it down here, the 21st at the Ruthie Jackson Center. That's a Thursday, and it's lunch from 11 to 1. They get to come have lunch. They get to buy a table for all of their friends. They can sit together. They can bid on the silent auction and the audible auction. And we have Jeff Copeland again coming this year as our auctioneer. And it's just going to be wonderful. It always is. We're just amazed at how much fun the people have at this event, and how the good Lord has blessed us with wonderful donations at this event. And the sponsors, we have wonderful sponsorships, businesses that will sponsor this, and individuals. So we're very grateful for this event.
I heard by the grapevine that the Calvary Baptist Church not only does all the things you've mentioned, but they make a contribution to your organization from their funds to your funds. Is that really true?
That is correct.
A monthly donation, and they have really become a community partner with Lifeline. And there are several other churches that do this on a different level, but that is such a wonderful opportunity for the whole community to get together and cooperate toward doing our mission, which is helping helping those who need help.
Do you have an overflow, Angela, of people that still you cannot take care of because you don't have $1 million a month coming in?
That's exactly right. We do. We have to take the most emergency cases and try to refer on the others that we're not able to handle at that time.
Are you handling any at this time?
Oh yes, we have usually, I'd say 30 a month or more families that we're able to take care of.
That is just almost a miracle.
On our budget, it really is.
Yes, it really is.
But like I said, most of the money we take in does go to assist the families.
Now, tell me about the miracle also that happened that now you're on College Street.
Well, we were offered that office by the Grand Prairie Independent School District. They have learned how much we have contributed and what a benefit we are, and they offered us this location. And it came at just the right time. We needed more space. We were in a city building with United Charities and Brighter Tomorrows, and we were bursting at the seams, and so were they. So we were really blessed to get to move over there. We've been there about a year.
Yes, that is wonderful. What organization individually has done the most for you other than Seroptimus that gave you a place to stay? Are you getting cooperation
It's so
from them?
difficult.
Oh, it is. Grand Prairie is a unique, kind, and caring community. If you let them know that there is a
You need
need
help.
out there or there's a problem out there, the citizens come together and they try to take care of the people that they reside with and do business with every day. And it's just so wonderful to live in a city. Of course, we have the Metro Rotary Club, we've had the Grand Prairie Rotary Club, we've had
Do you get help from United Charities?
sometimes we will co-partner
With
they
them?
may get a grant in and they can do
Yes.
half rent and we can do half rent, and it helps our budget and our budget as well. So we do work very well with the other agencies. We'll send our families if they need counseling to Children First. Wellness centers sometimes will help us with prescriptions and glasses, and dentists and doctors and so forth.
You're just brave enough to ask anyone to help, aren't you?
We are if you could just see the kiddos' faces.
Yes.
The children's faces and how happy they are and what we're doing for them, and we would do anything that we could. to
Well, I've
help them.
only had on this show 2 presidents. Have you had other presidents that have been in the chairs? I'd like for you to mention them.
Yes, after Georgia, we had Lila Thorne,
Yes.
and her husband Bill's on city council, and our current president is Kim Thorne.
Yes.
Kim has been on our board since the beginning and was actually our first vice president, but because of his nature of his business, and he was really
Yes.
swamped at that time, was not able to move up. We told him, okay, but your time's coming, and so
So you socked it to him.
we did, and he was thrilled to be able to be in the position at that time to go ahead and become president.
Now, do you have anybody in the wings already selected as president-elect, or what?
We do. We have Diane Wynn, and is our president-elect, and
Yeah.
our terms have been running about 2 years.
Yes.
And so she'll step in when Kim's term is over this year.
That sounds like a wonderful happening.
And then we're always in the process. The past presidents just always get together, and we're always trying to see, okay, who has the leadership ability to bring Lifeline up another notch.
Yes.
And we want to be sure that we have good members that can carry over what we're trying to do. We want to always go forward.
We have only 2 minutes now, up to my 26 minutes that we've been on this show. I'd like to know which one of you or both of you want to give invitations, especially to the one that's coming up in March and the one that's coming up in the summer? Who's going to do
I'm
it?
going to let Georgia, and if you'll mention Soups On for Love as well.
All righty, I will be glad to. We, as Angela has said, we've been so grateful to the Grand Prairie Independent School District for all their generosity toward Lifeline. They have realized what an asset Lifeline is for the school district, to the children, and they've been very supportive. And one of the events that they sponsor is Soups On for Love, and that's at the Education Center. And tentatively they have set the date for February the 10th, and that's around lunchtime. I don't know the exact time, but around 11:30. And they have the various soups that you get to taste, and then they make a donation to Lifeline. So that is a fun event. And the one we know for sure the date is March the 9th, and that's a Friday, Calvary Baptist Church, 7 o'clock. Please come and enjoy this event. It will be a blessing to you and a blessing to those that will receive the benefits through your donation. So we appreciate that so much. And put on your calendar, you do not want to miss the Freedom Luncheon on June the 24th, which is a Thursday from 21st. Thank you, Angela. 21. You can remember that number, 21. 11 to 1 at the Ruth E. Jackson Center. And it will be quite an event. And if you would like to purchase a table, be a sponsor, make a donation to the silent auction or the audible auction, we would greatly appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Y'all are a blessing to us today. Thank you for bringing us up to date on the history of the Lifeline Shelter and how many people know what that means to them and their families. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you for having us,
founding
and thank you
president
for all you do.
of the century. Founding president of the century.
Okay.
I'm named those, you know.
Oh, okay.
Miss Georgia, thank you very much.
Thank you, and God bless
It's been
you.
delightful to have both of y'all here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And remember that history is as we live and do, and that we're doing it every day for Grand Prairie, Texas, and all of its boys and girls especially. Thank you for watching our show, and God bless America and Grand Prairie, Texas.